Someone sends you a shorter reply than usual, and suddenly your entire body notices. The reaction happens before you have decided whether anything is wrong. No emoji, no question back, just two ordinary words sitting on the screen. There is no accusation in the message, only a noticeable absence of warmth. The fact is small, but your mind does not leave it small. Objectively, you have almost no information about their mood or intention. It begins writing a story. They are annoyed. You said too much. Something has changed. You are becoming a problem. Each possibility sounds more certain because the previous one increased your fear. Within minutes, you are not reading a message anymore. You are reading a verdict about yourself. The message becomes evidence that you are difficult, unwanted, or socially unsafe. I know this because I have turned a neutral face, a delayed reply, and a quiet room into personal rejection. My interpretation felt immediate and intelligent, even when it was completely invented. I have watched somebody look tired and decided I must have disappointed them. Their exhaustion had a whole life behind it that I never considered. I have seen two people whisper, then somehow made myself the invisible subject of their conversation. I entered a conversation where my name may never have appeared. Nothing had been confirmed, but my insecurity was already speaking with the confidence of a witness. It used details from the scene, but none of those details proved its conclusion. That is what taking everything personally often looks like. A small external change becomes a large internal statement about who you are. It is not simply being sensitive, dramatic, or self-centered. Those labels criticize the reaction without explaining why it feels so convincing. It is your mind meeting an ambiguous social signal and rushing to remove the uncertainty. Your attention becomes narrow because a quick answer promises emotional control. Because uncertainty is uncomfortable, even a painful explanation can feel safer than no explanation. The unknown gives you no direction, while rejection offers a familiar script. If I decide they dislike me, at least the blank space has an answer. Now I can search my behavior for the mistake that supposedly caused it. The answer may hurt, but it gives me something to analyze, repair, defend, or prepare for. Your mind converts uncertainty into a problem with tasks, even when the problem is imaginary. The problem is that insecurity does not investigate the blank space. It fills it with material from your past. It selects memories that already support the conclusion you are afraid to reach. A short reply becomes the teacher who dismissed you, the friend who excluded you, or the relationship that ended without warning. The people change, but the emotional meaning feels painfully familiar. The current moment becomes a screen where an older fear is projected. You believe you are seeing the present clearly while actually watching an old film. Then your body reacts to the projection as if it were a confirmed event. Your heart, shoulders, breathing, and attention prepare for a threat that remains unverified. You tense up, you reread, you change your tone, you withdraw before they can reject you properly. By protecting yourself early, you may create distance the original moment never required. Or you become unusually helpful, funny, agreeable, and available, trying to reverse a judgment nobody actually made. The performance can look generous from outside while feeling desperate from inside. This is where taking things personally starts changing your behavior. One assumption can alter the next message, the next meeting, and the relationship itself. You are no longer responding to the person in front of you. The real person has been replaced by a prediction built from your fear. You are responding to a story about what their behavior supposedly means about you. Once that story feels true, every new detail is recruited to support it. That is different from over-explaining yourself. The distinction matters because the intervention has to happen at a different moment. Over-explaining tries to control another person's opinion after you feel misunderstood. It adds words after discomfort. Personalization manufactures the discomfort from missing information. Taking things personally begins earlier. It creates the negative opinion before you even know whether one exists. You begin defending against a judgment that may exist only inside your own narration. It is also different from comparison. You are not measuring your life against theirs. There is no scoreboard here, only an uncertain signal and a threatened identity. You are treating their mood, silence, tone, or attention as evidence about your worth. Their internal weather becomes a report card you believe you are required to improve. And sometimes, to be clear, the signal really is about you. Pretending otherwise would turn this video into another comforting but useless slogan. Someone may be upset. You may have interrupted, missed something, crossed a boundary, or handled a moment badly. Maturity includes the possibility that your choices affected somebody else. The goal is not to become so detached that you ignore feedback or refuse responsibility. Emotional steadiness should make honest responsibility easier, not make you impossible to reach. The goal is to stop pleading guilty before the evidence arrives. Wait long enough to discover what the charge actually is, if there is one. Here is the distinction that changed this for me. Facts are observable. Insecurity stories are interpretive. This does not eliminate emotion. It prevents emotion from rewriting the evidence. A fact says, they replied 4 hours later, you can confirm the delay without claiming to know why it happened. The story says, they waited because talking to me feels exhausting. That explanation contains motive, judgment, and identity, none of which the clock revealed. A fact says, my manager looked serious during the meeting. The expression is visible, but its cause remains outside the frame. The story says, I am losing their respect, and everyone else can see it. Your fear adds a future consequence and an imaginary audience to one face. A fact says, I was not invited to this plan. Exclusion may matter, but one missing invitation does not explain the whole relationship. The story says, people tolerate me, but never genuinely want me around. A single event becomes a permanent social identity when insecurity controls the language. The story often feels like intuition because it arrives quickly and uses your own voice. But speed is not proof. Familiar pain can make one explanation feel obvious without making it accurate. So when a social signal hits you, do not begin by asking, what does this say about me? Begin with a colder question. What happened that a camera could record? Remove motives. Remove imagined thoughts. Remove the word because. They said this. Their face changed. The reply arrived later. The invitation did not come. That is the fact layer. Keep it boring. Then name the insecurity story separately. I'm telling myself this means I'm unwanted, embarrassing, or in trouble. Do not shame the story. It probably learned its job during moments when reading danger quickly felt protective. Just stop letting it wear the uniform of objective truth. Once the fact and story are separated, ask a third question. Is there a clean action available? If the relationship matters and the pattern is real, ask directly instead of performing an investigation inside your head. You can say, you seemed quiet earlier. Are we okay? Or, I noticed I interrupted you. Did that bother you? A clean question is not an accusation disguised as vulnerability. It does not say, I know you are angry, so tell me what I did. It leaves room for an answer you did not predict. If you receive clear feedback, listen to it without turning one behavior into a complete identity. I was inconsiderate in that moment is useful. I ruin every relationship is not. Specific responsibility creates an action. Global shame only creates noise. Apologize if needed. Adjust the behavior. Repair what is real. But if there is no pattern, no evidence, and no clean action, leave the blank space blank. You do not have to fill every silence with a theory about your value. Other people have headaches, deadlines, family problems, low batteries, private fears, and entire days you cannot see. Their expression may contain information, but it is not automatically information about you. This also means allowing someone to be mildly disappointed without treating it as a social emergency. You can survive a person having an incomplete, temporary, or even negative reaction to you. Your job is not to monitor every face until the room confirms you are safe. Your job is to stay available to facts, honest feedback, and the next clean action. So the next time 2 words feel like a verdict, pause before your insecurity finishes the sentence. Write down the fact. Name the story. Choose an action only if reality gives you one. You are not ignoring the signal. You are refusing to turn ambiguity into an attack on your identity.